folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries. This is the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all the Buddhist mysteries glow. Okay, thank you. Please take your seats. Okay, welcome you all to the Bodhicitta Day, Tibet House, Bodhicitta Day. So the idea of this, some of you already know that there are many new faces. For information, the whole purpose of this Bodhicitta Day is, number one, to identify what we are seeking, each one of us, what we are seeking. It doesn't matter what religion that you're following and what ethnicity that you belong to, or what gender, what social status, it doesn't matter. The point is, what are you seeking? Each one of us, to identify what we are seeking, this Bodhicitta Day will help us in that respect, number one. Then number two is, once you identify what we are seeking, then how to seek it. How to seek. In other words, all of us, we seek to get rid of our anxiety, stress, and so forth, undesirable experiences. And then number two, we also seek happiness. Happiness is possible, infinite happiness, if possible. So the next question is, do you agree with these 2 points? That I'm seeking the fearlessness, or I'm seeking a state where I'm free from anxiety, stress, anguish, and so forth, on the one hand. On the other hand, I seek the maximum happiness. Is this who you are? If your answer is yes, the next question is that something achievable? Can we achieve that? Then the question is, okay, to explore whether it's achievable, then how? If it is achievable, how to achieve that? Okay, so for that matter, the point is, because that we have 2 programs happening now. One is the Bodhicitta Day, then followed by the book launch, a very interesting book launch program, the book written by one very young Italian girl on the Tibetan diaspora, the Tibetan youngsters, how, say, the exploring what are the aspirations, what kind of the situation that Tibetans are in now, and so forth. It's a very beautiful the book that she wrote so passionately. Such a young girl, very passionately wrote about it, and then because of which she found a new life to herself. Okay, so that is going to be done just immediately after this program. So for that matter, to make it very quick, the anxiety, anguish, all the undesirable experiences which we shun, which we dislike, how do they arise? They arise, finally, arise due to the ignorance. Ignorance, and this is a big summary that I'm making here, and how the mechanism, how the ignorance is responsible for giving rise to all these miseries, anguish, and so forth. So these we have to study separately. And Tibet House, we have two very important programs to explore these questions. One is the Nalanda Master's Course, which we conduct only once in 4 years. And this is one part. And the second part is Nalanda Diploma Course, which Tibet House, they have once every year, which means every year there's going to be a new batch. So the first batch is now being completed, and second batch will be announced in October, and then in January next year we're going to commence the course. So these possibilities are there. If you really want to know the mechanism, this is one thing. So to make it very short, that the ignorance is responsible for our anguish, anxiety, stress, mental tension, and so forth. So to get rid of this ignorance, symbolically we lit the lamp. So that is to illuminate the light of the wisdom, to dispel the darkness of ignorance. But what is the wisdom? So this is what we did is symbolic, and the real wisdom is in a very short form. We are going to practice it as a part of this Bodhicitta day, what this wisdom is. And of course there are some who are very senior, in terms of the study of Nalanda Master's Course and so forth, and also those from Nalanda Diploma Course. You know what this wisdom is. And then for you, what we're doing here, this meditation will be of direct relevance, of great benefit. Whereas those of us who are new to this, don't worry, you will at least get something, and then you may get a feeling that, oh, I have to study this more. Look at others, and they really enjoy this, and I must study this more. You'll get this feeling, that enthusiasm. Even if you generate this enthusiasm, even that is so precious. So this will take you to change, for a big change. And a meaning. You will extract a meaning, you'll find a meaning, greater meaning of one's life. Number one. Number two, the happiness that we are seeking. Happiness, to make it again, all these studies as to how the happiness arises within us. How? Not just through blind belief, but rationally, how can that be understood? That happiness can be instilled within us. It is, to summarize everything, for example, like the coding. Like the coding, say the people, we use the computer, but we don't know how the computer operates. So like this, what are we doing here? As to how the happiness is given rise to is through dismantling our selfish interests. Dismantling our selfish interests, and by encouraging compassion. So the second part is, for the happiness, how to inculcate, how to incorporate, how to practice compassion. This is the two. So what we are doing here in this class, meaning this program, we are doing primarily the wisdom and the compassion. These are two things as the essence of this program. Okay. So with that in mind, because this program we started, and particularly this program, similitude of this program is what we do wherever we conduct Bodhicitta retreats elsewhere. In many other places, For example, in Root Institute in Bodh Gaya, then in Pune, Vajradhatu Center, then the Deer Park Center in Himachal, and then a smaller version in Assam, Guwahati, and in Mumbai, and then hopefully in the future in Chennai. At the moment we are doing the study programs, and then abroad, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, France, Italy, Finland, Israel, everywhere this program has been conducted. It's very successful. Whereas in Delhi we cannot conduct this program because Delhi is more like a working place. So this program in its full-fledged form, we have to do this as a residential program. So whereas here it is the working place, we can't really find a proper place to conduct the residential program, and because of which many of the people who cannot go out of Delhi, they suffer. They suffer, meaning that they don't get the opportunity to practice this. So because of this, particularly to accommodate those people from Delhi, we started this program, Bodhictta Day in Tibet House, in order to give the opportunity to the people of Delhi to get access to this program. And now, because of the availability of the technology, because of the digital world, so now this, we also telecast this worldwide. So anybody, everywhere in the world, whoever is interested, can take part in this program together with us. Okay, with this in mind, let us turn to page 3 of the book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhisattvas, this book. So unlike the usual classes, this is going to be more like the practice. You will know how to extract a meaning out of one's life, more in the form of the laboratory. Otherwise, we have the classes, more like the theory part, and today is more like laboratory. And those of you who are new, say you may get lost once in a while, but I will try to make sure, try my best to make sure that something happens, that you get something, even newcomers, that you get something out of what we're doing here. Okay, so what is important for us is to do a proper visualization, because this is a very important program that we're doing, and we're all very fortunate. Each one of us, including me, you, we're all very fortunate, but your parents, your other family members, and others, they are not getting this opportunity, because of which just let them also have this opportunity by you visualizing them around you. Okay, let us visualize all of them, your family members, and everyone here in India, everyone in your own country, and everyone in the entire universe, the human beings, the animals, the insects, the god and goddesses, the hungry ghosts, the hell beings, everyone in this universe. And meanwhile, also let us visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as a source of inspiration for us. And you are leading this with a very pure motivation to first of all, to get rid of all your problems, to acquire the maximum happiness for yourself. Likewise, to get rid of the problems of others. Likewise, to share the maximum happiness with others. With this motivation, with this very pure motivation, imagine that you are leading this program, and all sentient beings, they are joining you with aspiration to get rid of all the problems and to have the maximum happiness. Okay, page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. and teach by great compassion. You taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion. You taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is afraid of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification, complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes souls helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subduers expand a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, Sugata and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, we're going to recite this mantra, and since there are a number of new faces here, I'd like to quickly explain this mantra. And the benefit that we're going to get out of the recite this mantra depends on how much you understand the meaning. If you don't understand the meaning and recite it, then the benefit is there, but the benefit is going to be much less. Whereas if you know the meaning of this mantra, then recite it, the benefit is going to be 100, 1,000-fold times more. Okay, so the point is the first syllable, Om. Om. This syllable Om is constituted of 3 letters, A, U, Ma, and these 3 letters, they symbolize your body, your speech and your mind. Okay, who you are. For example, if you say, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, it is simply on the basis of your body. And if you say, okay, I'm kind, I'm not so kind, I'm short-tempered. No, I'm not short-tempered, I'm a stable person. That is determined by your mind. So we see that your mind and your body, and then what you speak, that is a speech. So body, speech and mind, these 3 constitute who we are. Oh, this person, when you are with this person, the person is so gentle, calm. So what the person speaks is so calm. And mental thinking is so smooth, calm. And physical gesture is not rough, is so calm. So these 3 things, body, speech and mind, determine who you are, whether you are a kind person or whether you are a boy, whether you're a girl, whether you are, say, very educated, uneducated, the intellectual, not intellectual. It's all determined by your body, speech and mind. So the point is that whether you're happy or unhappy, whether you have the anxiety or not anxiety, and even the anxiety, stress, anguish, they're related to your physiology. Your mind is affected. The mind can affect your physiology, and it can affect your brain. And then if it becomes like a chronic, then it will create the wiring, neural wiring, a very stable synaptic connections of stress and anxiety. And then they say that even for no reason, stress and anxiety can easily be disrupted very easily within you. So we see that how your thinking affects your brain, and then the brain affects your physiology, and then this physiology again affects your mind, and then it becomes a chronic and the anxiety problem. So for that matter, the point is, whether you're going to be happy, not happy, you have stress, no stress, it's all determined by your mind. And what you express physically, verbally. Your physical, verbal and mental determine who we are. So the point is, if you want to be happy, you have to have your body, speech and mind, all three happy. If you want to shun your anxiety, anguish and so forth, it is related to the body, speech and mind that you have to shun the anxiety, anguish and so forth. So for that matter, Om, which symbolizes body, speech and mind, when we recite this, it should remind us that, I should change my bodily gestures from the very rough to a very tender and the accommodating. Speech, tender, smooth and beneficial. And mind, very compassionate and full of wisdom. This is what we should be doing. Om. When we recite this syllable Om, this should remind us of these facts. Then the next question, how should I do this? How can I do this? How can I change this body, speech and mind that I have into a very, say, the nice or the divine body, divine speech and the divine the mind? How can I change it? So through Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Tathagato Heavatat Desham Chayu Nirota Evam Vadima Shramana Eswa. Okay, so what it says here is that the change that you want, the happiness that you want, suffering that you shun, both, they don't arise randomly. They arise by dependence on the causes. For example, if you want to enjoy mango, plant mango seed, don't plant apple seeds. Because apple seeds will never give rise to mango fruits. Only plant mango seeds if you want to enjoy mango fruits. And if you don't want the poisonous fruits growing, don't plant the poisonous seeds. So everything arises, the happiness, miseries, they arise from their respective causes. Ye Dharma, these phenomena, Ye Dharma, this phenomena of suffering, this phenomena of happiness. Hetu Prabhava, Hetu is a cause, Prabhava arise. These phenomena arise from their causes. Some people say that the Buddha taught about suffering, everything is suffering. This is not true. Many people, they are being misled, thinking that the Buddha taught that everything is suffering, everything is misery. That's not true. The non-virtuous physical, verbal and mental actions, they give rise to suffering. Virtuous physical, verbal and mental actions will give rise to happiness. It's not that everything is misery. Misery is something which we can get rid of, and happiness is which we can achieve. For that matter, we should be wise. Be kind to yourself by giving yourself happiness, by getting rid of the suffering. Then the next one, be wisely kind to yourself. Do those things which will get you to do those things which will actually give rise to happiness, and don't do those things which will actually give rise to suffering. This is how you should be wisely kind to yourself. So how to be wisely kind to yourself? First, know what causes suffering. Don't do those things. Know what causes happiness. Do those things. Heda dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat. Hetum, plural form of causes. Tesham, these. Tathagato, the Buddha. Hyavatat, taught. What these causes are, what are the causes of suffering? They are taught in the form of the ignorance, in the form of the misdeeds, non-virtuous, physical, verbal and the mental actions, which are all triggered by the ignorance, is the cause of the suffering which the Tathagata, the Buddha taught. Hyavatat. Tesham chayo nirota. Tesham chayo, these destructive causes, nirota, cessation. How to stop these causes? Evam, thus Vati, taught. How to stop these negative causes is also taught by the Mahashramana. Maha is the great, Shramana is the saint, sage. The great saint, Yeswaha, this is the reality, this is established. Okay, this mantra. In other words, from this mantra, we should remind ourselves that I should not be doing the bad things, physical, verbal, and mental. Physically, I should always be, very tender, gentle, nice, never be rough and the aggressive towards others. And verbally, I should always be kind, gentle, never be aggressive towards others, no harsh words and so forth. And then mentally, always try to stay away from anger, short-temperedness, and then the greed and so forth, and above all the ignorance. I should stay away from these. Okay, if you thought like this and then implement this in your life, no doubt you will become a much happier person. Your immune system will be boosted. These positive thoughts will boost your immune system. Where your immune system is boosted, automatically the illness will be far away. Illness will be distant from you. So that way you see that you will have good health, longevity. All will automatically be come into being by dependence on your virtuous thoughts. Okay, if this is what is happening, you are actually doing the applying the mantra in your daily life. Okay, with this mind, this mantra should be like a reminder for us, and let us say this 3 times together. And those of us who don't know how to say this will listen to us and then will join us. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava kato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. The meaning of the mantra in English: all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light, and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will return to the words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unsees, and has the nature of space. It's the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, our obeisance. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, and likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negatives of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by the teaching of the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma, for all bewildered misery is gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, we turn to page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. As we recite this, this is not we are saying this praise to the Shakyamuni Buddha not to make him happy. It is praise means that the Buddha Shakyamuni manifested good qualities to benefit the beings, benefit us. And in the first place, he is free from all sufferings. are due to his good qualities. And I also want to be freed. And he is also endowed with the maximum happiness. And I also want a maximum happiness. If I want maximum happiness, if I want to get rid of all the sufferings, how should I do? I should follow the footsteps. Or I should acquire those good qualities which Buddha Shakyamuni achieved. So, as we read these, the following passages and the verses, see what are the qualities mentioned of the Buddha, qualities of Buddha mentioned there, on the basis of which the Buddha is praised. And then see if you have some of these qualities. If you do have, rejoice and see how to nurture these qualities further. It's not about that you should be a Buddhist. It's about whether you are a kind person, whether you are a good human being. That is an important point. So, whereas if you see that you don't have some of these qualities there, don't feel demoralized. Just see how to make a new commitment. Okay, I should cultivate these qualities like compassion, like wisdom, and so forth. And then see, once having cultivated these qualities, see how to nurture them further, so that I will have all my miseries gone, and I'll have the maximum happiness, and that I can share this maximum happiness towards all other sentient beings. Okay. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, we know the best, Lord, to your prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you are prostrate. Just be like you, the 3 worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you are prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realization, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, but from only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these marriage may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, let us turn to page 31, Heart Sutra Mantra. And those of us who are already exposed to Heart Sutra, who have some understanding of what emptiness is, some understanding of how everything is like a dream, so that once you identify, just when you come out of the dream, you realize that, oh, last night I had this dream. And whereas in the dream, you don't see the dream as dream. In this dream, you see the dream as real. In the dream, the moment you see the dream as real, you are affected. Then the fear, anxiety, and so forth arises. Whereas when you wake up, then you realize that that dream was dream. It was not real. When you realize the dream as dream, then you are not affected by the dream. You are freed from the fears of the dream. That is the total fearlessness. Likewise, whatever we're experiencing now, in actuality, they are a form of dream. And of course, for that, it's not easy. It's not that you have to believe in it. We have to study this, how everything is like a dream. It's not easy. For example, quantum physics. Quantum physics, there is a clear presentation that the physical world that exists, the way we see this physical world, they don't really exist the way they appear to us. they appear to us as so well the objectified, solidified there. But according to quantum physics, what we are seeing doesn't really represent reality. What we are seeing is a mental fabrication. What reality is existed only by dependence on a mind, independent of the observer, observed. Makes no sense. This is quantum physics. So, if the Niels Bohr were to teach us that the observer, whatever we observe, the observed, they exist by dependence on the observer. If he were to teach us this, and we can't really expect to understand this within one session. So for that matter, for quantum physics, we need a lot of studies. We have to do the physics and the college universities and PhD and so forth in order to understand what exactly is quantum physics. Okay, likewise, this concept, which is very similar, what we are seeing doesn't really represent the reality. What we are seeing is like a dream. We don't see this as dream. In actuality, they are like dream. As long as you don't discover them like a dream, we continuously suffer sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish. All these things will continuously, the waves of the anguish, anxiety will continue to befall on us. Whereas the moment we realize that everything that I'm encountering, that I'm experiencing, is like a dream, the moment you realize this, you're freed from all this anguish and anxiety. So this is the wisdom. To dispel the darkness of ignorance, we need to light this wisdom to know that everything is like a dream. Okay, so this is only it is through this that we can improve our state from the state of suffering and anxiety and anguish to the state of ultimate happiness. So this state, from the state of the misery to the state of total freedom from misery, we have to follow the 5 steps. Gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva, 5 steps. In English, go beyond, go utterly beyond, and establish your ultimate happiness. Okay, so we'll do this mantra is again a reminder for us that I should discover the reality in order to unfold what this wisdom is. And with the wisdom, then to dispel the darkness of ignorance. Okay, with this mind, let us recite this mantra 7 times together. And imagine that the Buddha Shakyamuni, who discovered this light, he's there with us, not to teach us blindly, not to let us follow him blindly, but encouraging us to follow rationally. Rationally, okay. Because this is so important, so precious, visualize that your parents, your family members, your children, and everyone here in Delhi, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe, everybody joins you. You encourage them, everybody joins you in order to improve your state from the state of suffering to the state of ultimate happiness. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Sangate Bodhiswaha. Okay, so this is the part of the wisdom. Then the other part is the part of compassion. So these are two wings for us to cross the ocean of miseries, to reach to the state of ultimate happiness. Compassion. And the compassion for the compassion, we see that our mind, they are within the mind. We see that sometimes we are very happy, we are compassionate, sometimes we are more selfish. So what is really happening is that there are the opposing factors within the mind. One is the self-referential ego. With this self-referential ego, automatically the miseries ensue. They will attract. They will push others away from you, and you'll feel lonely, and then you become so agitated, then anger and so forth arise, and then you suffer. So the self-referential ego is the one which attracts all the miseries. On the other hand, we have the self-confidence. Self-confidence, and oftentimes people equate these two, self-confidence and the ego. These two are equated. So this is where we're going wrong. So our job is to segregate the two. That within our mind, there's the ego there, there's self-confidence there. And self-confidence is the basis for your happiness, and the ego is the basis for our suffering. So now, ordinary people, what they do is that when your self-confidence increases, your ego also increases. And when your ego goes down, your self-confidence also goes down. This is the sign of our being ordinary person. Whereas we all have this treasure of the ultimate happiness within us. Everybody has this. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we see him as the epitome of the compassion and the epitome of the wisdom. We all have the same nature. For example, the diamond that you see in the showroom and the diamond in the ditch. 1 kg diamond, 1 kg diamond, both 1 kg each, and one in the showroom, one in the ditch. Which is more expensive? Ordinary people will say that one in the showroom is more expensive, but the diamond experts will see no difference. One is in the ditch, the diamond expert will pick this up, wipe this, clean this up, put it in the showroom. So the point is that we are like the diamond in the ditch. And the enlightened beings, like Jesus Christ, Mother Teresa, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they are like the diamond in the showroom. So which diamond is more precious? Same. Only thing is superficial differences there. One is superficially from outside is dirty, one is very clean. So remove the outside dirt, inside is just the same. We all have the same potential. Everybody has the same potential. So this potential is being obscured by the ego. So we have to shut down. We have to crush the ego. We have to dismantle the ego. And meanwhile, don't compromise your self-confidence. Self-confidence is very important. Oftentimes when we crush the ego, when we say that, okay, so I'm so egoistic, so therefore nobody likes me, and then I'm so bad. No, you're not bad. Your ego is bad. And many people, they cannot distinguish this. So what they do is that they say that I hate myself. The moment you hate yourself, this is the greatest failure. Nobody can fail you. It is only you who can fail you. The moment you say that I hate myself, this is the greatest failure. Whereas if you really want to hate somebody, hate your ego. Don't hate yourself. This self is so important. Remove the ego, and this self will become the enlightened being. This self will become like the Mother Teresa. This self will become like the Buddha. This self will become like Jesus Christ. This self will become like Mahatma Gandhi. This self is so precious. Remove the ego. This self will become divine. So, never ever hate the self. If you really want to hate somebody, hate the ego, your own ego. How to hate it? Get rid of this ego to the best you can, and learn how to get rid of this ego. For that, we need a very systematic studies. And as I said earlier, Tibet House, we have these two courses, Nalanda Master's course and Nalanda Diploma course, in order to identify what exactly is the ego, and how to the psychology of the ego, and the ontological exploration of what the ego views. So all these we study extensively in these 2 courses. So only through extensive studies, reflection, meditation, then you will identify and be able to get into the ego. Once the ego is gone, you become such a divine person. Look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He just comes out and shows his face, and then how many millions of people, they get this joy within their mind. Each one of us, we all have this same potential that is only obscured by this ego. Remove this ego and you become like the second Dalai Lama. Right? And then everybody will crave to have the audience, your audience. Everybody will crave to see the very smiling, compassionate face. Okay, so this distinction must be made. With this in mind, we'll turn to page 39. Foundation of all good qualities. We will recite this, and as we read this, just see how much we can register the meanings there. Don't just read it with the words. Words and the meanings must also flow within your mind. And the meanings flow, then the real transformation takes place within you. You become a happier person. Okay. The foundation for all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Falling into the sea of samsara, so of all mother migratory beings, please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. But I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of the reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledge it like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teaching of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all out and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, we enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stages in the path, and the Kula attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, we'll say this mantra, maximum mantra, 3 times together. Myo myo tse ve tere che che re se te me ke be om bo jam be yang kan jen ke me kembe ombo jambe yam kanjen kebe Tsok Tsok lo sai tabe shab lai so vai me tse tere che che me kembe ombo jambe yam kanjen kebe Tsok Tsok lo san tabe Shabla Sovadem. The meaning of the maximum mantra. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of compassion, not aimed to existence, a Manjushri, flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Love Sangtaba, at your feet I make requests. Okay. Now for taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow, Bodhisattva vow, we call this the Bodhisattva vow. Bodhisattva vow, just for information, there are two kinds. One is known as the aspirational Bodhisattva vow, and the other one is the engaged Bodhisattva vow. Aspirational Bodhisattva vow, what we are doing here is not the engaged Bodhisattva vow. This is known as aspirational Bodhisattva vow. This is something we don't have any commitment. We don't have to accept any commitment. But whereas for the second one, which is the engaged Bodhisattva vow, which we are not going to do here, that requires a tremendous commitment. And of course, the benefit is going to be 100 times more, much more than the aspirational Bodhisattva vow. But what we're doing here is without any special commitment. At the most, if you commit yourself, at the most, that I will not harm others. I'll not harm others. And if possible, I'll help others. If not, at least I'll not harm others. If this much you can commit yourself, that's good enough. You don't need any other commitments. Otherwise, taking as the vows is not easy, and particularly taking the Bodhisattva vow, engaged Bodhisattva vow, there are several commitments there, and so that is not what we do here. And those of us who are interested in taking that part, you first have to take from a living teacher. So that's a different story. What we are doing here is not the engaged Bodhisattva vow. So it's a simple one. As this, usually what we do is, first we do the single-pointed meditation. 5 minutes single-pointed meditation, number one. Then number two, we do the practice of the 4 seals. Then number 3, we do the practice of the 4 immeasurables. And then the Bodhicitta. And then the reinforcement of the wisdom of emptiness. And then finally, taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow. So because of the constraint of time here, what we'll do is that we will shorten this a little bit. First we'll do the 5 minutes breathing meditation. 5 minutes breathing meditation. For that matter, I'm going to give a quick instruction. Okay. So what you do is that it involves 4 things. One is the body posture. Then number 2 is the focal point. Focal point meaning what are you going to meditate on? What kind of meditation are you going to do? Number 2. Number 3 is identifying the mistakes or the errors of meditation. And number 3, applying the remedies to overcome the errors, or applying the remedies to overcome the mistakes. These are the 4 points. First, the body posture. Okay, sit upright. What is very important is sit upright. If possible, you can sit cross-legged. If possible. If not, don't worry. You can sit on the chair. It's fine, no problem. But your body must be upright, which is very important. And then your head should be tilted forward a little bit. Eyes not closed. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. And only if you are used to meditation with closed eyes for more than like 2 years, then you may be exempted. Otherwise, always try with eyes half open, not full close, half open, 45 degrees cast down. Okay, and then the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive accumulation of saliva in your mouth. Breathe naturally. Don't force your breath. Don't control your breath. Breathe naturally. And then your right hand on your left hand. Right hand on your left hand. And the two thumbs joining. Two thumbs standing. Tips of two thumbs standing. Joining. Forming a triangle. Place the two hands on your laps in restful state. Place your two hands on the laps in restful state. Okay, this is your body posture. And while you keep your body upright, keep it flexible. Don't keep it rigid. Keep it flexible. That's very important. Okay, Raviji, please come on the chair. Raviji, please sit on the chair. Yes, sit or can you mashuda. Okay, so this is your body posture. Then number 2 is the focal point. What are we going to do? What we are going to meditate? We're going to meditate on. Okay, there are so many versions of the focus of your meditation. There are so many kinds. It's not that what we are going to do here is the only correct one and all others are wrong. This is not the case. All versions are correct provided they come from the authentic source. So what we're doing here is that we focus on a tiny white dot between your nose and the upper lip. Okay, touch this spot between your nose and upper lip. Touch it. Don't look at it, just touch it. You could feel it. Okay, so your eyes are not looking at it, but you could feel it, which is your mental consciousness is feeling this. And your mental consciousness is going to meditate, not your eye consciousness. Your eye consciousness, simply keep it eye half open and ignore it. Half open, 45 degrees cast down, ignore it. That's it. Your mental consciousness, which feels this touch, this mental consciousness is going to meditate. Okay, so while you focus your mind on this tiny white dot between your nose and upper lip, multitasking. Count your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1, breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2, this is what you're going to do for 5 minutes. Okay, number 3, identifying the errors of meditation. While you meditate, there are two major errors. There are two major mistakes you can make in your meditation. One is mental excitement. While you are in a meditative posture, but your mind is scattered here and there. This is one mistake of the meditation. Number 2 is that while your mind should be meditative, but your mind feels sleepy. Your mind feels drowsy and sinking. This is the second problem. So should any of these two things happen, no need to panic, no need to freak. Just go for number 4. Number 4 is applying the remedies. Remedies, there are 2. Introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is like, say for example, if you have a pet dog and then you lost a pet dog, what will you do? You first go in search of the pet dog. So your mind, which should be meditating, this is like your pet dog. So instead of this mind meditating, it runs away or is falling sleepy. So you go in search of that. That is introspection. To see what your mind is doing, that is introspection. Once you find your dog, then the job of the introspection is done. Next is the job of the mindfulness, job of the rope. Tie the dog with the rope, bring it back home, and try to repeat it at home. Likewise, when you see that your mind is distracted or your mind is sleepy, then with the help of the rope of the mindfulness, bring the mind back to the intended object of the meditation. Okay, this is what I'm going to do for 5 minutes. Ready? Okay, ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next we will do the Bodhicitta on the basis of the four immeasurables. But of the four immeasurables, we'll do only the first two. Because constraint of time. After this, we have the, as I announced earlier, the book launch program. Okay, ready? Reinforce the visualization of the enlightened beings, like the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and so forth in front of you. And reinforce the visualization of your mother, your father, your children, and all the family members, and everyone here in Delhi, and everyone in the entire universe, the human beings, the animals, the insects, God and goddesses, the hungry ghosts, the hell beings, everyone with you, and you're inspiring them. The fact that one engages in the Bodhicitta practice, compassion practice, and the practice of wisdom of emptiness, everyone will be liberated from the suffering, and everyone will experience the bountiful happiness. And you are leading this. Okay, what we do here is that it's going to be like a guided meditation. I'll give the instructions and try to invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. Don't anticipate. Don't ruminate over the past experiences, and don't anticipate anything of the future events, and disengage yourself from the sensory engagements, and be in the present moment. Just follow instructions and try to invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. This is so precious practice, and you realize that this practice is like the guiding force for your peace of mind and happens for yourself and for everybody else. Okay, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Causes of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of emptiness and the unconditional love of Bodhicitta. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing the living is such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion of omniscient minds to send forth nectars of very soothing lights towards you and all Mother Sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies beings of yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness of the Mother Sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of the sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. All my dear Mother Sentient beings are suffering. I'll take the responsibility. My dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing the living is such a courageous commitment, they intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion of omniscient minds to send forth nectars of very soothing lights towards you and all ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies beings of yours washes away, frees the beings from all the suffering and the cause of the suffering. and you witnessing such a miraculous happening towards all of dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Reassuring that I'm there to take care of you, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. This feeling of love and affection, unconditional love towards everyone, this is so precious. This guarantees us that your mental defilements will be removed, and this unconditional love will guarantee that you are the true diamond, like the gold, the diamond inside us. When mixed with the soil, you will not see the gold inside. As the soil is removed, then the gold inside starts to glow. Likewise, because of this unconditional love, your mental defilements will be removed, and the gold inside you, the Buddha nature, the seed of perfection, the seed of ultimate happiness within you, will start to glow. Okay, with that spirit of unconditional love to all dear sentient beings, with folded hands, I will say the line of commitment, Bodhicitta commitment, and let us all say this 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Okay, stay in this very courageous mind, the most beautiful mind that can possibly exist in this universe. This mind, the courageous mind of the Bodhicitta, is the most beautiful mind, and today you have generated this. Okay, slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotless, clean, white Vajra, white moon disk, 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter, vertically, the horizontally sitting at the heart. Okay, it's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha, but how come that you can become Buddha no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, oil, no matter how much you squeeze, oil will never come out of this. Likewise, how do you know that your Buddha nature, with all your efforts, you will have the Buddha coming out of you? Yes, I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds. You squeeze the handful of sunflower seeds, all will come out of that. Likewise, I have the Buddha nature within me. The seed of perfection, the gold is within me. Why it is not visible is because of the mental defilements, because of the soil. Because of the soil, the glow is not happening. Once the soul is removed, the gold inside will become visible. Likewise, of the gold inside me, that refers to Buddha nature. But how come that this Buddha nature did not manifest till now? Yes, that's true, because of the soil there. Soil in the form of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Now, today I'm disillusioned by these two appear, these two come as to like the best of my friends, in the facade of the best of my friends. Today I'm disillusioned by that. I'm going to say no to this. I'm going to exterminate these 2 demons. How am I going to exterminate these 2 demons? By introducing some very powerful wisdom, powerful light of the wisdom, to dispel this darkness of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. What is this wisdom? Okay, we'll quickly meditate on the emptiness, and those of us who are new to this concept, don't worry, just follow the instruction. And those of us who are already exposed to this profound wisdom of emptiness, you try to meditate. You meditate on this by following instructions. Okay, ready? What we learned earlier is that everything is like a dream. Just a dream is coming from your mind. Likewise, everything is coming from our mind. Although we see everything is so external, so objectified, so solidified there, but the reality is everything is coming from our mind. Okay. Think of this person, yourself. What are you doing? I'm meditating. This sense of self, a very strong sense of self, is also referred to as self-grasping ignorance. This is responsible for attracting all your fears, all your anxiety, anguish, stress, and so forth. So this, if you discover that this is like a dream, you will be free from the anguish, anxiety, stress, depression, so forth. How can I see that this self is like a dream? It's so objectified there, so solidified there. Yes? Okay, this, how does this self, yourself, appear to you? Oh, so solidified there. This is known as self-grasping ignorance. This is ignorance. It's not true. How can I know that it's not true? Remember what Aranagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person, if this I were to exist objectively, not like a dream, why not I see this self as I go closer to this object? Okay, let us not go closer to this object. Closer to this object to see if this self does exist. The dream, the more you explore, the dream will disappear. You realize that the dream is not real. The dream is all coming from the mind. Just like the dream, even this self, this I, is also like a dream. It's also coming from the mind. How can I know this? Okay, let us go closer to the object. Going closer to the object, we see that there's a thin layer of the skin. We're only interested in seeing the objectively real self. The self does exist, but the self does not exist the way it appears. It does exist subjectively. It does not exist objectively. So seeing the self as existing objectively is the one which creates all the problems. Seeing the dream as real, dream does exist, but it does not exist as real. It exists as a dream. So as you see it as a real, then all the problems, the fear in the dream arises. Whereas the moment you see that it is coming, it's just my dream, it's coming from my mind, the fear dissolves, that dream fear dissolves. Okay, likewise, see if this self exists as objectively real. Okay, whatever is not the self, we're going to ignore them. Okay, what you see is just thin layer of the skin. Of course, that is not me. Ignore this. Behind that is the fatty tissue. That's also not me. Ignore this. Behind that, the muscles, the cartilages, the flesh, the bones, the skeleton, the blood vessels, the heart, the lungs, the gallbladder. Gallbladder, kidney, intestine, and so forth. Okay, all these solid parts, they form the element of earth. Element of earth is not me, that's for sure. There's the element of water, the blood, which is like 4 liters of blood our body has, which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that element of water, the blood, is also not making that aside. Element of fire, the body heat, 2,500 joules of energy that our body has. Even that is also not me, 100%. Keep that aside. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that our body, that the lungs, that our lungs breathe in and out. Even that is also not me. Keep that aside. Element space, 99.99% of our body is hollow. It's made of trillions, like 100 trillions of the cells, and these cells are made of the molecules and the atoms, and atoms are 99.9% they are hollow. Space occupied by electrons, protons, neutrons is so small as compared to the space occupied by the distance between the electrons and the nucleus. So even this vacuum within my body is also not me. I'm a solid person. The vacuum or the space vacuum in nature, that is not me. Keep that aside. What is left? None. Only my mind is left. Even this mind is also not me. Element of consciousness or the element of mind, even that is also not me. I'm a male. I'm a female. My mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. So this mind is also not me. And people cannot see my mind, but people can see me. So therefore this mind is also known, we keep that aside. What is left now? Nothing is left there. Nothing is left there. Where is the self? This self disappears. Stay in this experience. For some people it can be a little scary experience. If a feeling of fear does arise in you, you are very fortunate. If it does not, it doesn't matter. Practice some more, and eventually you will feel that once you get this feeling, with the more practice, then this fear will be replaced by tremendous, incredibly serene, tranquil experience. Okay. Now imagine that you come out of this practice. This self comes back. Again go back to this practice. Again the self disappears. There's a constant change happening. Self appears, disappears, appears, disappears. But on the object there's no change. This change is happening on the perception. And perception is purely subjective. So therefore whatever is part of this perception is purely subjective. So this self is also part of this change. It appears, it disappears. So therefore it is purely subjective. Okay, what are you seeing now? I'm just seeing the 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is this person? None of the 6 elements is the person. Where is the self then? It's not there. Stay in this experience that this self disappears. This experience of that the self is empty from the object side. This experience is known as the wisdom of emptiness. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean white Vajra. Thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk of your heart. Okay, so this moon disk, which is the metaphor, symbolic of the conventional Bodhicitta, which is the ultimate remedy to overcome the self-centered attitude, and the Vajra, which is symbolic of the ultimate Bodhicitta, which is the ultimate remedy to overcome this self-grasping ignorance and the subtle stains. These two guarantee that all the mental stains will be removed and the gold inside you, the Buddha nature, will become manifest, so that all fears will dissolve and your happiness will become infinite. Yes, that's amazing. But what about my 2 parents, my family members, children, and all the sentient beings? That's true. But the incredible compassion towards all the sentient beings, because of this incredible compassion, the Vajra moon at your heart, imagine that they multiply infinite number of times. And share one side of the Vajra moon at the heart of your mother, one side with your fathers, at the father's heart, one side with each one of your children, with each one of your family members, with each one here in Delhi, with each one, every sentient being in this universe, the human beings, animals, insects, gods and goddesses, hell beings, hungry ghost beings, everyone. Okay, with this in mind, now let's turn to page 46. Okay, let's do it. Oh yeah, page 46, that's good. Page 46. Let's turn to page 46. Page 46, as a part of this ceremony, okay, how many of you don't have this book with you? Raise your hands. How many of you don't have this book with you? This is okay, how many? Raise your hands those who do not have the book with you. Because this ceremony is very important. As part of the ceremony, let's turn to page 46. Page 46, the last paragraph. With that, they going to show that is. They going to show. Okay, page 46, the last stanza. So, because that we are running at the short of time, we'll do it sitting. Otherwise, we do it on your right knees. But today we'll do it sitting. Okay, I'll explain this stanza very quickly. This is the commitment that we're making. The commitment, as I said earlier, is that if possible, to the best I can, if possible, I'll try to help others. If not, I will not. At least I will not harm others. This much, if you can make commitment, then we are entitled to take this aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And as we take this vow, this is extremely the precious vow, and of course it has so much of benefit in terms of boosting your immune system, and then serving as a seed for you to generate this unconditional love later on, to generate this infinite happiness within you. Is so precious. Because this is a very important journey, we need the best of the help, the support. For us to go to a new place, we need the help of somebody who is familiar to that place. So likewise, we need the greatest of support, and the greatest of support is the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. Okay. Then this journey involves is an internal journey. It's not external journey. Just for external journey, the road must be clear. And if the road is blocked by the boulders, the trees and so forth, then you cannot undertake the journey. Likewise, it's a journey of your mind. The road is none other than your own mind. Your mind must be cleared of the mental defilements, anger, the agitation and greed and so forth. Your mind must be cleared of these boulder and the trees like the mental defilements. So the best way by which to do so is confess the negativities. Confess the mental negativities. So the second line says, confess the negativities individually. Okay, now the road is clear. But if the car does not have the fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. So the car must have enough fuel. The car is none other than your own mind. So this mind should have the fuel. The car should have enough fuel in order to move. So this mind should have enough fuel of the merit, accumulation of virtues. So the best way, most effectively, how you can accumulate such a virtue within a short span of time in a most easy way is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. Instead of being jealous of others, rejoice in the virtues of others. So third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. So now you have a great support, then the road is clear, and your car has enough fuel. So what kind of journey you're going to undertake? The journey of becoming a Buddha, journey of achieving total infinite happiness, journey of unfolding this gold inside me. So that, the line 4, it says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, with wholeheartedly, we'll say this three times together. And you are leading this, and all sentient beings are joining you. In joining you, your parents, your children, your family members, everyone is joining you, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. Okay. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next two stanzas, the actual ceremony. So we're invoking the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. And then the first stanza is related to the Buddhas, and second stanza is related to ourselves. So the first stanza, the meaning is that how the Buddha Shakyamuni, for example. So the Buddha Shakyamuni, many eons ago, he was as ordinary as what we are today. But then, today he became enlightened. How come that he became enlightened and that he is able to benefit so many beings? How come that he is able to do that? He is able to do so because of two reasons. One is, initially he generated a very strong compassionate motivation to become enlightened, to benefit all sentient beings, number one. Then number two, to materialize this aspiration, he engaged in the activities to actually benefit the beings, such as 6 perfections and the 4 perfections, making 10 perfection. If this is what makes him the full enlightened being today, to benefit all beings, then I will also follow his footsteps. I will also generate this very strong compassionate bodhicitta motivation, and I'll also engage in the bodhisattva practices. So this is the main practice. Wholeheartedly say this 3 times together. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhictta, and just as they successively dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhictta, and likewise shall I too successively follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhictta, and just as they successfully dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhictta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhictta, and just as they successfully practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhictta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, just stay in this experience. So courageously taking this aspirational Bodhisattva vow. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're so proud of you. Where the child, after all these many years, of the child only bringing embarrassments and complaints from the school principal to the mother, and to just imagine today the school principal comes to the mother, and again the mother becomes so apprehensive and worried again what my daughter, what my son must a bad thing that much the son or daughter might have done. This time the school principal is slightly different. She's coming with a smile, and she congratulates the mother. What for? The mother asked. Mother said, your daughter and your son, two of them, are appointed the best of the students of the school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes and believe her ears. After all these many years of complaints all the time, today she's hearing something so pleasant. This is exactly what all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are feeling today, that we generated this incredibly precious mind of compassion, unconditional the altruism, compassion towards all beings with the wisdom of emptiness. And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are so happy. And because of this happiness, visualize the Vajra moon at the hearts of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to multiply infinite number of times. And these replicas of the Vajra moon at the hearts of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like in barrage, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize in your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized and blessed of the Vajra moon in your heart. Likewise, in barrage, like rain shower, all the Vajra moon from the hearts of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with one that you visualize at the heart of your mother, at the heart of father, at the heart of each one of your children, family members, and everyone in the universe, the human beings, the animals, insects, gods and goddesses, hell beings, honey ghost beings, everyone. Okay, this is the greatest meaning out of your life. Today you have extracted this meaning. If somebody asks you, what's the meaning of your life? The meaning of life is to cultivate the most sophisticated, most intricate wisdom, and to cultivate this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, compassion. And today you did it. And of the innumerable gifts that you can potentially think of to offer it to the sentient beings, and this is the greatest of the gift. And today you gifted all your parents, your children, and everyone with this gift of the Vajra moon. And of all the offerings that you can think of, the Buddha said that generating one moment of compassion far excels the gift to the whole universe filled with diamonds, gold, silver to be offered to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. If this is what the reality is, then what we mentioned of what we did today, this is the greatest of the offering that we can potentially think of to make to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and today you did it. Okay, this is so precious, and to make sure that this is something that we will be able to be connected in this life, in the future lives, so that you can benefit all the sentient beings. Let us turn to page 47, the second last stanza. Let's say this 3 times, wholeheartedly. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay. Now we will do a quick Tsok offering. Page number kasi Tsok offering how 231. Okay, let us quickly turn to page 231. Page 231. Page 231. And then maybe Tinsu you take this, you read. You take this with you. Okay, we will read this. The Tsok offering is making the offering of the Tsok. Tsok means the edibles and so forth. We have to visualize them as the best of the delicacies to be offered to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in order for us to accumulate merit so that your life will be your life will have less illness, no illness. Illness will be gone right off, and the life success and so forth. And most importantly, that virtues will grow in our mind. Virtues will grow in the mind. This is so important. And for the younger ones, with your studies, your studies will come to Tsok. No, just hold it. Keep holding it. This is okay. So this is a purpose. Okay, so the Tenzin, the Vesala will recite it. Meanwhile, I'll do the blessings, and all others will recite with Tenzin Vesala slowly. Yes?
Verse 55, page 231. Oma Hum, Oma Hum, Oma Hum. Pure clouds of outer, inner and secret offerings, objects that bind us closer and fields of vision, pervade the reaches of space, earth and sky, spreading out beyond the range of thought. In essence, they are pristine awareness, in aspect the inner offering and the various objects of offering. Their function is to generate the extraordinary pristine awareness of emptiness and bliss as objects to be enjoyed by the six senses. Ema Ho. In the grand play of pristine awareness, all places are Vajra fields, and all structures majestic Vajra palaces, oceans of clouds of Samantabhadra offerings below forth. All objects are imbued with the glories of all wishes. All beings are actual Viras and Viranis. There is not even the word impurity or flaw. All is but infinitely pure. Whom, from a state of dharmakaya in which all mental fabrications are stilled, on top of a turbulent wind and blazing fire, upon the crown of a tripod of 3 human heads, with a proper human skull cup, Om, the ingredients brilliantly appear one by one. Placed above them are Om, Hum, each sparkling with brilliant color. The wind becomes turbulent, fires flare, the ingredients melt, from their boiling tumble forth copious vapors. From the 3 letters, profusions of light rays radiate out in the 10 directions, drawing back the 3 vajras with nectars that dissolve individually into 3 letters. These melt with the nectar and blend with the ingredients, purifying, transforming and increasing them. Ema Ho, becoming an ocean glittering with the splendors of all that could be wished for. Oma Hum, Oma Hum, Oma Hum. O host of root and lineage gurus, yidams, a host of deities, three jewels of refuge, viras, dakinis, dharmapalas, and guardians of the teachings, I request you who are in the nature of compassion to appear and come to this offering site. Place your radiant feet firmly upon this elegant throne formed of jewels, amidst an ocean of clouds of outer, inner, and secret offerings. Grant us, who are striving in the supreme realization, the powerful attainments that we all wish for. Ho, this ocean-like Tsok offering of uncontaminated nectar, blessed by Samadhi, mantra and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of root and lineage gurus, O Mahum, contented by your sport with all the splendors that could be wished for. E Maho, please let fall a great rain of blessings. Blessed by concentration, mantra and mudra, this ocean-like Tsok offering of spotless nectar, I offer for your delight assemblies of root and lineage gurus. Satisfied by enjoying an abundance of all you wish, please, I beg, let fall a great rain of blessings. Blessed by concentration, mantra and mudra, this ocean-like Tsok offering of spotless nectar, I offer for your delight assemblies of yidams, deities, and attendants. Satisfied by enjoying an abundance of all you wish, please, I beg, let fall a great rain of powerful accomplishments. Blessed by concentration, mantra and mudra, this ocean-like Tsok offering of spotless nectar, I offer for your delight assemblies of the most precious jewels. Satisfied by enjoying an abundance of all you wish, please, I beg, let fall a great rain of the holy dharma. Blessed by concentration, mantra and mudra, this ocean-like Tsok offering of spotless nectar, I offer for your delight assemblies of dakinis and dharma protectors. Satisfied by an abundance of all you wish, please, I beg, let fall a great rain of virtuous deeds. Blessed by mantra and mudra, this ocean-like Tsok offering of spotless, I offer for your delight by enjoying an abundance of all you wish, please let delusive appearances and suffering being allayed. Look, Venerable, a great circle of Tsok. You have followed in the track of the Shugatas of the three times and are the source of all powerful attainments. Since we realize this, O great hero, who has forsaken the conceptualizing mind, please enjoy continually this circle of Tsok. Alala ho. Very good. Within nature inseparable from the three Vajras, I visualize myself as a Guru Yidam, this nectar of immaculate wisdom knowledge. Without steering from Bodhictta, I drink to satisfy the deities dwelling in my body. What great bliss! All Tathagata Buddha heroes, yoginis, dakas and dakinis. Sorry, we just stopped there. Sorry, my apologies.
Get rid of suffering? Anybody who, oh sorry. Okay, so anybody who wants to have happiness, anybody who wants to get rid of suffering can take this. It's not that you take this, you become a Buddhist. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just a blessing. So the idea is that this nectar is actually tea, the black tea. You don't worry what it might be that. It's black tea, plain black tea. And you take it in your the right hand, you take it, and then as you take it, those of us who have some exposure to the emptiness meditation, you take it and you feel the taste, the sweet taste. As you feel the sweet taste, use this feeling of the sweet taste to think about emptiness. So this is known as the non-duality, the bliss of the sweet taste and emptiness, non-duality bliss. So this bliss will make sure that, okay, this emptiness will make sure that you wake up from the sleep of ignorance, And this bliss will make sure that you experience the infinite happiness. So the emptiness will make us fearless, and the bliss will give us the infinite happiness. This is the idea. So likewise, what Rijala is going to distribute, the reason that you take as a blessing. Again, you eat it, and you taste the sweetness of the reason, and this mind which feels the sweet taste, pleasant taste, that you use that to understand emptiness. Those who are exposed to some degree of emptiness, you try to do that. Otherwise, you take it as a blessing. That's good enough. Okay. You give. Put your right hand. Okay. Okay. All give first to Venerable. Yeah. Okay, now the Aryan, Putila, Hamala's friend, the younger ones, you come to help to distribute the Tsok, to distribute the Tsok. Okay, Sidwala, come, Tamjila, come. Sola came to Ale, need to go. Ale, this chata, but this Toto Miss Kuzukuda. Who's the level? Oh. Yeah, sit all fish. Tamjila. Watch it. Make sure that everybody gets your share of this Tsok. And then what we do is that we eat a part of it from the Tsok. Okay, first listen, don't be too excited. Okay, eat a part of it, and then somebody will come in the end. Sola studiure. Mare, kunse shimbal lega chata. Aryan lega chata. Okay, so Aryan will collect the leftover Tsoks, meaning that from what you have eaten, then from the remaining you can give a part of it to Aryan. Aryan will collect it in the tray. Okay. So it is not necessary that what you have bitten, then you give it. Not necessary. You can give some fresh ones also. So this part I'll explain a little later. Okay, Aryan, you will just collect it a little later, not now. Okay, first distribute everyone. Okay, make sure that everybody gets your share of the Tsok. You got that? Okay, now Aryan will come to pick up the leftover Tsok. Aryan, here, Aryan. From your Tsok, you eat something, and then from the other parts, for example, okay, let's say I ate a small piece from this. I ate from here. Then I may not give this. I can give something fresh also. Like this, right? Some people think that you have to give from what you have bitten. It's not necessary. Be kind. So this is for these local spirits. Okay, I didn't pick it from. Okay, I didn't go others. Okay.
Page 235, Geshe, Song of the Spring. Okay. Okay, okay. Paragraph 77, page 237. Ho, this ocean of remaining Tsok of uncontaminated nectar, blessed by Samadhi, Mantra and Mudra, we offer to please you, hosts of oath-bound realm protectors, Om Ahum, contented by your sport with all the splendors that could be wished for. Aim Aho, please accomplish the virtuous conduct of the yogic path as you have pledged. Ho, by offering this ocean of remaining Tsok to the guests who are left together with their entourage, may the precious teachings proliferate. May the upholders of the teachings, the offering patrons, together with their entourage, and especially we yogis, all gain freedom from sickness, a long life, fame, good fortune, and abundant wealth as wished for. Bestow on us the powerful attainments of actions such as pacification, increase, and so forth. O oath-bound protectors, protect us. Help us obtain all powerful attainments. Make us meet no untimely death, sickness, demons, or interfering spirits. See that we have no bad dreams, ill omens, or calamities. May we have worldly happiness, good crops and harvests. May the dharma flourish, all goodness and joy come about, and may all the wishes in our minds be fulfilled. And by the force of this bountiful giving, may I become a self-evolved Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. And by this gesture of generosity, may I liberate the multitudes of beings who were not liberated by the Buddhas of the past. Page 243, verses for auspiciousness, verse 117. Through the excellence of whatever white virtues there are in samsara and nirvana, may all be auspicious for us to be free here and now from all misfortune and hardship, and thus enjoy a glorious and perfect celestial treasure of temporal and ultimate virtue and goodness. May all be auspicious for the teachings to long endure through your centers of dharma, omniscient Losang Dragpa, being filled with hosts of monks and yogis, striving single-pointedly to master the three pure trainings. Having requested your blessings, Losang Dragpa, who from the time of your youth made request to the Supreme Guru Yudam, may all be auspicious for you, O Losang Vajradhara, spontaneously to grant the wishes of others. May all be auspicious for all our desired endowments to swell like a lake in the summer rains, bringing an unbroken flow of rebirths of leisure in faultless families, and so that we may pass our days and nights with your holy dharma, O Losang, and thus delight in the glories of perfection. By the collection of whatever virtuous deeds others and I have done and shall do from now on until enlightenment, may all be auspicious, O holy venerable one, for your body of form to remain in this land, immutable like a vajra. Page 278, we'll do the dedication prayers. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue, with the dedication praised as the best, by the victorious ones thus gone of the three times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the supreme Bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase forevermore. Janjop Senjo Rinpoche Mage Panam Ke Gyoche Ke Padam Bame Bayan Gone Gondo Pe Vaisho As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the three times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I, in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. The path of the union of emptiness and compassion is lucidly explained by the protector of both the Dharma and the beings of the snowland. You are the lotus holder, Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds, of the negative forces of humans and non-humans, who harbor malice through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas, be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the three jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages of the path. May I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even at the cost of my life. Yeah, that's my teacher from Khandire. Didn't you like Siddhacheta? Switch out the no, switch Tandem. Yeah.
Hello everyone. Please join us for a tea on the other side of the hall, and we will have a book launch even at 5:45. Thank you. Please join us for that.
And the book launch will not take much time, don't worry. No.